Hey guys, Jeremy here from School of Wok, Covent Garden. It's Wok Wednesday, and this week I am definitely using the wok of really simple Chinese greens, blanched, finished off with some hot oil. Blanched Chinese greens like you get in the restaurant, it's really, really easy. You don't even need ginger or anything like that, but I'm adding a little bit because I like the flavour of ginger oil over the veg. So I'm going to do nice thin slices of ginger that I'm going to crisp into the oil. So, fine slices of ginger, I'm going to crisp those up into a nice sort of golden brown finish. And then you can either use oyster sauce, or I've actually got some vegetarian stir-fry sauce made of mushroom extract here to keep it nice and veggie. So, if you want your Pak Choi to look nice and pretty, and it doesn't just have to be Pak Choi, it can be Pak Choi, Choi Sam, Gai Lan, anything, any sort of Chinese sort of mustard greens or green veg work really well. But when you slice through it, just slice through the base and then peel the rest. And you can see I've cut these into, one Pak Choi into 8. I'm going to clean that or wash that in a second. You can see, I quite like cutting it like that because it keeps it nice and beautiful. Two to three large Pak Choi makes up a good dish. And actually I think that's enough for my plate, so I'm going to cook that. This is incredibly quick to cook. Give them a wash, then on to the cooking. This is really easy, so I'm going to blanch your veg first. And when you've cut your veg into these quite sort of thin eighths or sizes, it really doesn't take long at all. I like my veg to be still sort of nice and crunchy, so at this size, maybe a minute maximum, 30 seconds to a minute of cooking in boiling water, and then the rest is about the hot oil that I'll finish off the dish with. So if you ever wonder how in a Chinese restaurant things can come out so quickly, this is the way. So everything's prepped up and ready, your water's boiling, but actually more so, this is all part of the preparation. You know, you can blanch your veg first and then finish it off either in a stir fry or just straight back into some hot water for another sort of 20 seconds or so. Once it's boiling, you can pop your veg in. And as I say, you don't want it to lose its sort of beauty and its shape. Just sort of cook out that rawness, keeping that crunch. So about a minute in boiling hot water, and then I'm going to take them out. So what you're looking for when you're cooking your veg is for the colour of the stem to go from sort of bright white to a slightly more translucent white. And you can see it's going to sort of halfway through that translucency is working nicely. Once it's on that sort of rolling boil, as I say, a quick cook, a minute or so, and your veg are done. Keeping that nice and warm. Go straight out, and this is not absolutely necessary, but this is restaurant style side veg that you would get in a Chinese restaurant. A good bit of oil, and you could just heat this oil up and then pour that over the veg to give it that sort of glaze. But if you want a bit of flavour, added flavour to that as well, then the ginger, so getting it to a nice sort of crisp finish, works a treat. I'm on a medium to high heat here, just to crisp that ginger up nicely. If you weren't doing the ginger, you could get it onto a high heat, pour the oil over the top, and then have your sort of vegetarian oyster sauce on the side. Chinese greens are always there to just give you that balancing act of a meal. So I've cooked out that sort of rawness of the ginger, got a nice golden brown finish. That oil just pours over the leaves, over the veg. Get that ginger over the top. And then you could have cooked that into the vegetarian oyster sauce, or a lot of the restaurants just have it on the side like that, ready for your rice. It's nice to get a bit of that. Of course, like usually you'd have this with a bit of rice. Something so simple, it's actually pretty good, pretty easy to get wrong, and that is that most people overcook their Pak Choi and green veg. Most importantly, if it's cut like this, 1 minute maximum. If it's whole, then it might take 2 or 3. Really simple. If you like this recipe and you want to learn more, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.